And Kita Beauty Tees. I'm back with a client tutorial on my sister Aaliyah. So right now I'm cleaning her face. Then I will be taking this CVS moisturizer, which is basically like Pond's, and I just apply little dots on her face and basically rub it in with my fingers. As you can see, I like to make sure it's all evenly distributed, so I take my time when I'm moisturizing. And then I take my LA Colors face primer and I put it on all the areas of her face that get pretty oily. So her chin, her T-zone, the crevices of her nose. I basically get it into all those spots. And I really like this primer because it's very smooth. Today I did her eyebrows using my Nicka K black eyebrow pencil instead of eyeshadow like I normally use on her. I wanted her eyebrows today to have more of like a softer look, even though they kind of look the same to me, but it's still a little bit softer. I don't know if y'all will be able to notice it or not. I'm still looking for another face model at the moment, so if you follow me on Instagram, you already know I wrote a few people's names down just because I want a few more shade ranges on my channel if I'm gonna be doing client tutorials. So y'all just stay tuned for that. I'm still trying to narrow it down to who I actually want to come to my house, because you got to be pretty selective when you're thinking about things like that. But anyways, I'm filling in. I like to outline the eyebrows first at the tail, and then I just fill it in halfway. I don't fill in the whole eyebrow, and after that I just brush them through to make it appear like it's not so harsh. And I'm taking these two concealers, one from LA Girl and one from Arcade by Kiss. The shade names will be in the description box down below. And I take them on a flat brush and I start at the tail of the brow and I just go down slow, and then I start at the top and just drag it. This is not usually how I do eyebrows, but since when you record a tutorial you basically have to do makeup from the side, this is the easiest way to do somebody's eyebrows from the side. I'm usually directly in their face and I don't angle it horizontally. I usually angle it vertically, but either or worked out well. I blend it out right after I apply, and then I clean them up underneath using the lighter concealer, which was the Arcade by Kiss. So I'm just sliding it. You want to be slow when you're doing this part because you don't want to mess up. Then you just drag down the concealer and blend it out using the blending brush. And this is how it looks on fleek. Then you're gonna do the same thing on the other brow, but when I'm on the other side, I start with the top of the brow instead of the side. I don't know why I do that, it's just something that I do. And then you want to clean it up underneath. Look how on fleek they are, y'all. And I arched her eyebrows off camera to save me some editing time, so you may want to do that if you have a client. I usually do that with most of my clients if their eyebrows aren't already done, and if I have time I'll arch them. But you want to blend it out as much as you can, just because you don't want them to look like they're floating when you do the foundation on fleek. Now I'm taking my e.l.f. camo concealer, the label rubbed off because I use it a lot, but this is the shade Deep Olive, and I apply like a nickel size amount to her eye, and then I just blend it out using the same eyebrow brush. Now I'm taking my Juvias face palette and I'm using that brown shade as my first color. It's going to be my transition shade for this whole look, and I just pat it on using a fluffy blending brush. I wanted to go for a no-cut crease tutorial today since a few people asked me how I do those on clients, and it's real easy. This is like a makeup look that you can do if you like an upcoming MUA, like you just started accepting clients. This is something you can do on them because it doesn't take long and it's pretty easy. But you want to pat on the shadow in whatever shape you want it to be. I like mine to be more round, so I do a round shape all over her eye. Now I'm taking the Jaclyn Hill palette and I'm using that dark brown shade just to deepen it up a little bit. But It's basically the same technique when applying the darker shade. I'm just using a brush that's more dense so more color could show up. But I'm patting it on and then I'm swirling it around to blend the edges, as you can see. So you want to blend as you go. Like you pat first and then you swipe to blend it. Now I'm taking this smaller brush, and this is a darker shade. This is probably the darkest brown out of the palette. I just didn't show it on camera. Then I'm using my e.l.f. camo concealer, and I take it on the blending brush and I just pat it on. You don't have to be neat with this at all. You can be as messy as you want to be, just because this is a no cut crease tutorial. So just do whatever shape you would like to do. Like I said, I like mine to be round, so I do them round, and this is what it looks like. Now I'm just applying shimmer shades. All of these shades came out of the Juvias Place Masquerade palette and the Juvias Place Nude 2 palette. Sorry I didn't show them on camera. I didn't have a good angle. I showed it on camera, but the angling was terrible, so I cut it out. But I'm just applying, it's a white shimmer shade, and then it's like a tan, and then it's like a bronze. And I applied all three of them to her eye because I kind of wanted it to fade. Now I'm using my e.l.f. black liquid liner, and we're going to do a straight line, or it's more so angled. An angled line, and we're going to blend it into the eyeshadow. So you just want to fill it in, and then blend it using that same blending brush that you used for the darkest brown. And it looks like this. Real cute. Now I'm taking my Fenty Beauty neon liner, which I love. This liner was so pigmented. Y'all, Rihanna know what she doing. But I just slide it over the top, as you can see. Sorry it got darker. My head was in like the way of the ring light, so that's the reason for that. But y'all can still see. I just slide it using the brush. I go slow with this part too, just because you want to be very steady. But if you mess up, you can always go over it with the black, so it's okay. I did go over it with the black, but I did it off camera. Now I'm taking these two glitters. The shade names / the companies will be listed down below in the description box. And you saw me apply the glue, and I'm taking that white glitter first and applying it everywhere where we basically put the lightest eyeshadow. And then I take the chunky glitter that had the bronze colors in it, and we're gonna apply it where we put the bronze. The good thing about this is, since it's not a cut crease, your glitter application, it can be as random as you want it to be. Like, it doesn't have to be neat. If it was a cut crease, it would have to be neat, but since it's not a cut crease, you can basically put this anywhere. So I just pat it on using this like a dense packing brush. You can use a blending brush too if you would like to, but I just think the packing brush is just, I don't know, it doesn't spill as much glitter as a blending brush. And I was not trying to clean a lot of glitter up, but I'm just packing it on, as you can see. Basically trying to make sure they're even, perfecting whatever I need to perfect. And even though this was a lot of glitter on her eyes, she actually said it wasn't heavy, which is good. These are the lashes that I chose today. Nice and fluffy. Before I apply the lashes, I like to clean up under her eyes and on her face, because if I try to do it while the lashes on there, they're probably going to be in the way, because I always choose long lashes. But I apply lashes using a tweezer, as you can see. I put them in the middle first, then I apply both ends. And I always have her open her eyes after I apply them, just to make sure they're on correctly. Then I do the same exact thing on the other eye. Put it in the middle, then put both ends, secure both ends. Make sure it's good. And my sister eyes are like the perfect shape. I never have to cut her lashes. They always fit nice. Now I'm just cleaning up the rest of her face where I see any glitter or any eyeshadow that fell before we do the foundation, because I do not want people to see any glitter through her foundation. So I'm applying her foundation, and like I said in the last tutorial, my sister is two-toned, so her face is darker than her neck, so I usually try to match her neck, as you can see. So I apply the foundation and then I blend it out using my Real Techniques beauty sponge, and it is damp, FYI. So I just gently pat it throughout her face. I don't too much worry about under her eyes since we'll be putting concealer there anyway, but anywhere else I just pat it through. Now I'm taking my concealer, and for her highlight I use the RK by Kiss concealer that I used underneath her eyebrows, and I'm just applying it to under her eyes, on her chin, forehead, and then I'll be applying it to the bridge of her nose. After I'm done applying her highlighter, I'm going to take my black opal foundation stick. I think this shade is black walnut, but I'm not sure, so I'll have it listed down below as well. But I'm using it to contour her face. I like to start it kind of at the top of her ear, and then I go down at an angle. And I do the same thing on the other side. I just pat it on. I didn't want to use too much because I didn't want this to be too harsh of a contour, but I just blend it out using my beauty blender. And I use the same side of the beauty blender that I use with the foundation because I want her contour to be pretty seamless. I did not want this to be harsh whatsoever. Now I'm just doing the same thing on the other side. It's best to blend out your contour first so you can let your concealer sit. Then it'll be more full coverage when you blend it out. After I had a contour blended out, I'm going to go ahead and blend out her highlight. And I'm using a different side of the sponge because I didn't want the highlight to be dark. But I blend out her chin first and then her nose. I save her under eyes for last, just because I don't want to blend them out and then have to blend them out again just in case she opens her eyes or looks another way. I don't want it to start creasing. But I blend out underneath her eyes using a tiny Real Techniques sponge because I don't want to get the big one in her eye. Right after I blend her under eyes out, I set them with the Fenty Beauty Loose Setting Powder in the shade Honey. And I do so using my large sponge. I do a thin layer because I don't want her face to look cakey. But I set both under eyes first, and then I set everywhere else that I highlighted, so her forehead, her nose, and her chin. After that, I'm taking my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, and I'm using it to set everywhere that I contoured her face. I use it kind of like a bronzer just to bring back more color. I like to go in with the angle brush and just distribute it anywhere I need to. I usually do it under her chin as well, but I didn't show that, I guess. Now I'm contouring her nose, and I'm using my Black Radiance medium dark or medium deep contour palette, and I'm just sculpting out her nose. I like for the nose to look very narrow, as you're gonna see. I like it to be very narrow, like face surgery narrow. Like, this is my favorite part when I'm working on somebody's face, because I feel like once you've contoured their nose, they're like a different person. Now I'm setting using my setting spray, and then I'm gonna fan it out using my bougie girl fan because my sister looking bougie. And I like to set the face before I highlight it, just so the highlight could be more intense. And I use my Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit and Sun Dip to highlight. I usually take the color Bronze and a lot of color out of the palette. I just forgot the name of it, but bronze, and I mix it with another color, and I just apply it to her face using a blending brush. And I like to go in on the highlighter. I blend it out with the blending brush at the end. I don't know if I showed that in the video or not, but I really like to go intense with the highlighter because I want my clients to look like they're glowing from within. So I apply it to both sides, then I take a smaller brush and apply it to the tip and the bridge of her nose, and I blend it out using my blending brush, and whatever excess I have, I apply to her forehead. Now I'm doing her under eyes, and I'd already put the color from the Juvias Place palette first, and then I took that dark brown color that I used out of the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I only applied it to the outer edge of her eye, as you can see I'm doing now. And that's what that looks like. Look at her, y'all. It looks so cute. Now I'm doing her lip, and I'm taking this Nicka K lip gloss from the beauty supply store and that Maybelline liquid lipstick. The shade will be down below. But first I outline her lips using this Wet n Wild, I think it's the eyebrow pencil in dark brown. I always use eyebrow pencils as lip liners. I don't know, I just like them. But I outline her lips first, and then I fill them in a little bit with the brown, just because I like my lips to be an ombre lip. I like it to fade. And I take my time on this part too, because you don't want to mess up on lips. If your lips look bad, then the whole look is going to look bad. So take your time. I have it lined how I would like. I take the Maybelline liquid lipstick on a disposable lip wand, and I apply it to her lips. If you are a beginning MUA, the first thing you need to get in your kit is disposables. Do not apply any type of lip gloss or lipstick to anybody's lips straight out of the tube. That's nasty. You're gonna contaminate everything, and somebody's gonna sue you. So that's the first thing you should get. But anyways, I apply the lipstick using a disposable, and I usually have her pat it out like twice, and then I go over it with the lip gloss from Nicka K. I just like glossy lips. The matte lips were cute, but I just love glossy lips. I think it makes the look just stand out even more. And to go with the eyes, because since her eyes sparkle, I want her lips to sparkle too. So I'm just applying that all over her lips. And after that, we will be doing the final reveal, because she can't see until the end. So I hand her the mirror, and look, y'all. Just look. I'm just let y'all look. Yeah, she was feeling herself, baby. I know y'all see these hair flips. When you got a client like this and they do this when you get them a mirror, it's mission accomplished. Wink. Oop. Y'all saw that? Do y'all see these lashes though? Like, I really think these went well with the look. I was proud of myself for picking these out. But as y'all can see, she can't put this mirror down, girl. Look. Y'all see that highlight? Glowing. And it's blended. Get into the eyes, get into the face, get into the lips, get into everything, girl, because we slayed this face. And if you got by this tutorial, you gonna slay your face too. Like, look at this there. Ooh. But this is my finished video. If you want to see more, go to my Instagram. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment, share, rate, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in my next one. Bye bye.